a thing that I've thought about a lot lately. I've been literally so embarrassing to say. I've been working on a reel that I've gone back and forth about posting or not. And now I'm just going to say what I've been talking about in that reel. Maybe this will be the reel.
Yeah.
Where like I've heard and seen and been in a little bit of conversations in these leftist circles about like, basically like, okay, this was the timeline of events, right? Renee Good, Alex Preddy murdered, Keith Porter murdered. This is exactly the point. Like all the white people and get like galvanized about like ICE in this way, right? You have the horrible tweets and things of people being like, can we just go back to regular police brutality where everybody's showing their absolute huge ass, you know?
Yeah.
You're showing your huge ass and it's not a nice one, by the way. And this being the conversation of like people being like, okay, sure, yes, it's true that it's kind of racist that, and not when I say kind of, I mean it is. Yes, it's true that Black people have been being executed by the state for our entire lives for hundreds of years, you know? We know the history of the Native Americans and the indigenous. Like, but people don't want to point that out right now because they're like, basically, we need numbers, and we can't we can't make the white people feel uncomfortable by the fact that they weren't numbers before, and this leftist, this idea of leftist infighting and identity politics. I'm doing all of this with finger quotes for people who are only listening.
Yeah.
And I just have like, a real fucking problem with that. Like, what are we talking about? It is literally not leftist infighting to hold each other to the standard of anti-racism. Like, it's not
accountability.
Exactly. The accountability. You have to be accountable to like that anti-blackness. And this is where I'm like on the idea of the comfort and the ideas. Because it's okay. Now, what's actionable about that? What's actionable is the white people who took a long ass time and who reacted to Renee Good and not Keith Porter, who reacted to Renee Good and not Breonna Taylor. Like, don't get me fucking started. Sit in it. Be uncomfortable by the fact that people know that that was racist of you. Okay. We're not going to act like it's not racist. It is. Feel fucked up about that. And then move forward, because people want to galvanize numbers before skipping that step. And for me, I'm like, especially in the context of the Epstein files, brother, this is white supremacy in action. White supremacy and capitalism entwined in action. It's counterintuitive to not address the racism of this if we're gonna attack this. I mean, this needs to be, I don't know. I'm sure other people have said it. And it's a funny thing because I'm like, I've literally thought about, I'm like, is it my place? I'm not Black. I don't know. I'm fucking Latina. But I'm like, but I see it and it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off that it's, don't call me leftist infighting. Just don't be racist.
I mean, it's like, I feel like I saw a video the other day of, I think it was, I think Neil Brennan, the comedian. Yeah, he was. I don't want to quote him because I didn't watch the full video, but I've seen other videos. I've seen videos in general where people, and not even just recently, but like just every time there's like conversations around, people will be like, guys, stop shaming those who were on the wrong side, who left and came back. We have to embrace them and bring them in. I'm like,
you want me to sleep with the enemy? It's
exactly.
And also it's like, it's not to say that you will never be embraced, but I'm not going to embrace you if you're being racist. If you haven't done that thing.
Yeah, because it's like, well, what's gonna stop this person from just doing the same thing again if they're still, because it's like, it's cool that they're coming to the other side, but they're not coming to it for the right reasons. They're coming at it now because, oh, this affects me, not because this is just wrong. You know, it's like, you got to hold people accountable, because this is also education for them, and also just making sure that your numbers are truly aligned and loyal. Because I mean, look at, we've seen movements be crumbled because the outside was able to get to the weak link and switch that up, whether it's COINTELPRO, whether it's like
Yeah.
how the civil rights movements or the Panthers or just any movement can be co-opted when the people within the movement are not truly there for the right reasons and aware of why they're there and loyal to the whole cause, then it's easy for it to be flimsy. We got to be like, I don't know, I'm bad with my history right now, but I don't know if it was it world was it I remember like I don't know if it was Japan, but
Hmm.
why America had so much trouble getting through to Japan, or even just in general, whenever America's had trouble defeating countries in the East,
Mm.
a lot of times it's because of how far apart we are from each other and how outside America is from their people,
Right.
whether it's culture, language barriers or whatever, but especially when for so long when China was like, we don't fuck with the rest of the world. We are China. We only
Right.
fuck with China. If you want to get in here and fuck
Yeah.
our shit up, you have to be one of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to keep it's not just about having numbers, it's about having like true solidarity.
Well, and that's the thing. I think it's like the solidarity is everything, right? Where you know what I would rather do leftist infighting about is about these like fucking books. Like leftists, like being aligned in your purpose does not need to mean that like everybody's read fucking Marx or everybody's read XYZ. Because all of
No.
these, frankly, let's say like white DSA folks, it's like, brother, they love to talk about the books. They love to talk about books, but like, who do you know? Like, what people are
Mm-hmm.
like, that book is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a shield when it comes down to
Yep.
it. Like that book is going,
Yeah.
and that's not to say that
Yeah.
your theory and studies are like not important. I think that everyone has roles, and I think that like educators should be educating, but you don't have to be on the same intellectual like plane of like knowing this book or that book or whatever to be
Mm-hmm.
aligned. But the solidarity comes with like the fact that you have to look at the system and you have to look that and say white supremacy is undeniable to the system.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't, and that's where I'm like, I'm an abolitionist. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
self-identify if I have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like communist this, socialist this, democratic socialist this, I don't fucking know. But I
Yeah.
know what I'm about, and I know like the people that I need to be aligned with, and that my ideology is not dangerous to their ideology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is where I'm like, I start whispering. I've been screaming this whole time and I start whispering now. This is where I think this is a really important time. We've been living through important times, of course. But the conversation of abolishing ICE is such an important one because of how some, and I'm trying to not bully, but dumbasses are trying to be like, but the police should protect us from ICE. No, 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 no. They're the same. They're the same. So I'm like,
We need the police to start arresting ICE. Like ICE got police on their chest now.
it's crazy. I'm like, you think that they're not off? You're crazy. But it's
Yeah.
like, I bet if you really did and this is the thing that I remember going around in 2020, and like, I'll admit it, I'll say, I'm sure I was the young, annoying person who didn't know shit about shit in spaces before, and I still have a lot of things to learn.
And that's fine though, but I'm
Right.
sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that people are afraid of sometimes, where it's like, I don't want to speak out, I don't want to say because I might be
Exactly.
wrong, blah blah. But it's like we're constantly gonna be learning. Like there's shit that I'm probably saying on this conversation
Oh my God.
that in 5 years I'm gonna look back and cringe and be like, oh, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Here's the thing. I'm like, you think I haven't embarrassed myself many times in life? Embarrassed myself in front of a bunch of black people in the process of trying to learn.
Yep.
Of course I have. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, embarrassing, feels bad to be wrong.
Yep.
You move on, you try to learn
Exactly.
better,
You learn because it's the same with like people being like, I would say like people, a lot of white people are more afraid to get called racist than actually being
Being
racist,
racist,
because it's
right?
like if you do something and someone says that's racist, all you gotta do is acknowledge, apologize, learn, and move forward. When
Right.
you defend and be like, no, I'm not, blah, 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 no, you just don't understand me, blah 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 blah, that's where you fuck up. It's same with, and I'll go back to crushes and sorry, and
Yes.
I'm not
And we're
interrupting what
doing
you were
it
saying, but
amazing.
like even with relationships, like so many times where like people focus more on being right than actually understanding, like, did you hurt someone, did you do something wrong, like
Yes.
are you trying to just like heal, and like because people argue when like when when both sides don't feel heard, then no one's listening and you're just yelling over each other, versus
Mhm.
like, all right, you're upset. Let me understand why. I know you obviously know why you don't think you upset that person, but try stepping out of your shoes and see that person's side. And you can even just apologize, even if you don't agree. You can still just acknowledge and affirm someone's feelings. So,
Right.
in all of it, like it's all relationships at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Everything.
Exactly.
It's all relationships. It's all just learning and understanding like how to deal with people, whether it's like revolution, whether it's romance, whatever. It's
Mhm.
just, can we actually listen to each other,
Well, yeah.
learn from each other, and yeah.
This has really been the theme of this season, is like the idea, I think, of like listening and seeing each other. Just like,
Mhm.
do you see me? Do
Mhm.
you believe me and my
Mhm.
experience? Because it's like
Yeah.
on the just, and we're going to go back to crushes, but like on the
Mhm.
ice and the abolish the police of it all, I'm just
Yeah.
like, if all of these people start to look at the racism of
Yep.
the fact that, black people have been killed by the state in front
Mhm.
of us forever, and realize, like, if you start to actually, okay, so you see that, okay, I was racist for not like recognizing that, okay, that sucks,
Mhm.
but now, okay, I've recognized that the police have been killing black people this entire time. How can I, and then you go into the history of the police, you learn more about
Mhm.
that, whatever, if you want to,
Mhm.
if you are so inclined. You don't even have to, I would say you could just look at it right
Yeah.
now. you know
Yeah.
you can
Just
look at
look at
prison
today and
labor
say this
right
is
now.
wrong. This is it. Yeah.
Exactly. And understand that, like, once you actually see that, then it's like, well, of
Mhm.
course I don't want the police.
Yeah.
Well, of course I don't think the police are going to protect me from ICE. Like, it's
Mhm.
it's a matter of time if you follow the track that you find out, like, when you listen to people and their experiences. Yeah, the answer is there for you. The safety is not
Mhm.
within reach with the police. Safety is
Yeah.
in our relationships with each other. And yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that we could say that because
Yeah.
I do think people need to just, because I think in 2020 there was like a lot of talk of kill the cop in your mind, kill the
Yeah.
colonizer in
Yeah.
your mind. And I'm like, as corny as it sounds, and I'm not patting myself on the back, I hope that's not what it fucking sounds like. But I'm just like, I fucking did that. Or I really started to try. At the
Mhm.
very least, I started to really
Yeah.
try. And like, and sometimes I'm looking around, I'm saying, they didn't start. They didn't try.
Yeah. Because for a lot of
They
people,
went to a couple rah parades and then they went home,
yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
because that's the thing. It's like what you're saying before of like, there was one point that you were saying just about like, I mean, basically what we're talking about,
Mhm.
we're like, people focus on like the big ideas and all this and that, but like the everyday action isn't as interesting because it's like, the idea of revolution or change is not cute. It's not cute. And people want it to be cute when it's like, it's not going
No,
to be
it's
cute. It's going to be
embarrassing.
very,
It's gross. It's dirty. It's
yep,
bloody.
it's uncomfortable. It's like you gotta reckon with yourself in a lot of ways as well, because I think a lot of these, that's why when people are talking about like, yeah, holding people accountable or like, being tough on people who were on the wrong for so long isn't the thing right now. It's like, yes, it is. That's a part of the change. That's a part of the revolution. That's a part of like, it's not just changing the law, it's changing everyone's individual thinking, what you think is normal, what you think is right, what you think is wrong.
What you think
So,
justice is. Frankly, for me, it all goes back to
exactly.
that, because it's like people love to think that when I want to abolish the police and I abolish prison, that means accountability goes out of the door. It's
Hmm.
like, no, no, no. Justice means fixing it now. Justice means more people stay alive. Justice means actually accountability. And it's easier to just put someone in jail and say that's accountability rather than be like, hello, my friend. So you've been a little racist your whole life. Let's figure out how to do, how are we getting out of that, brother? How are we going to figure out the rest of your life?
Exactly. Because it's like, even if we want to talk about like the Epstein list and everything, it's like, okay, like right now we're in a time where, okay, the Epstein list we're getting everything, not everything, but even just with what we have, we've gotten it, nothing's happening. And we're looking at all these politicians and like, governments and all these people in power to do something, which is important. But at the same time, like what we're talking about, it's like, what are we doing within our everyday circles, our everyday environments to see like, that Epstein shit doesn't just happen on those islands,
right?
Like, that shit is happening. Like that shit is happening, and I don't just mean Epstein, but I mean like just abuse, assault, like people being people being treated, people being taken advantage of, like that shit is happening right around us. That shit is happening everywhere.
Having
so
their
like,
autonomy stripped from them. It's happening every day.
So it's like, as much as you want to get on like these powers, it's like and I don't mean you like you, but I mean like just individuals. It's like, especially dudes, it's like, what are you doing within the spaces that you navigate to make a difference? What are you doing in your everyday thinking, even in like the media that you consume? Like, question like, oh, this movie's about this. This artist makes raps about this or whatever. Like, this shit is not. This shit is not right. We should not be embracing. Like, it goes down to the smallest. Like, change goes down to the smallest basic blocks of society. It's not just all in the big picture, because the big picture is just a combination of all the little things that we do. So they can go after everyone on the Epstein list, but that doesn't mean a new list isn't already being formed.
That doesn't change the fact that I've always grown up in a society where I knew that sexy schoolgirl was like a thing. Like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, my entire life I've known that guys want to fuck little girls, actually. I've actually literally known that. Because that's like I remember being like 21 and being like, I'll wear my little skirt and my little like thigh high socks, giving sexy schoolgirl. Okay, that's fucked up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, we all have to it's like we got to decolonize our minds,
Literally.
Like,
and not just say it. But I guess we could say here, definitively, like, it is literally tangible practice. Like, it's not woo woo. It's actually every time you think that someone deserves going to jail, every time you say ICE is snatching up the people who make this city run. Imagine if they didn't. Do they still get to get murdered and captured? My Lord, I didn't know I had to paint your fucking wall to be worthy. And that's what's crazy, is people are showing their asses right now. But I'm like, okay, you've shown it. I see it. Now let's take it back.
It's really back a little bit.
I'm saying it with love, because I have to say it with love, because I do have love. And now we're getting back to your crush. And it all comes back to love. Love is healing. Love is great.
It is.